Okay, so we're going to begin on our mats. So when you're ready, come down, and then we're going to start to take some nice gentle stretches to slowly warm up the body. So just take a moment here to release through the neck, take a nice roll, and then when you're ready, coming into some side stretches. So swoop that right arm all the way up and over and release. Inhale to bring it back to center, exhale, take it to the second side. Inhale back to center, clasping the hands in front, release through the shoulders, drop the chin to the chest. Take the arms above the head and then tuck those hands behind the head as you release through the chest. Taking a shoulder roll before coming down into a 4-point kneeling position. And then we're going to send those hips back to come into your child's pose, just to take a nice gentle start to your flow. Release through the hands and take a nice deep breath. When you're ready, coming up into an all-four position, we're going to start with some cat-cows here. So this is just to gently release through the spine and through the abdominals. So we're going to inhale as we drop the belly and take the gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up. And exhale to round. One more time, inhale and exhale. From here, tuck the toes, send the hips high into your downward facing dog. Gently walk out the feet or take some rises and releases through those back of the legs. Next, we're going to do a ripple through the body into a plank. So come up into a rise and take a nice ripple, release through the spine and flow into your full plank. Bend the knees, send the hips back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, round through the spine. Really enjoy this movement and the release that it gives through the spine. And then bend the knees, send the hips back, downward facing dog. One more time. And then bring those knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. We want to find our neutral spine here, so take a couple of pelvic tilts back and forth until you find somewhere in the middle. Feel strong through the shoulders, really push into the ground and lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. First exercise is going to be our leg pull prone kick. So extend that leg back and then kick up. Inhale, tap down, exhale, kick up. Inhale, tap, exhale, kick. Be careful not to allow the back to bow here. The height doesn't matter as long as we're activating through the back of those legs and glutes. Last few. We're then going to bend the knee in and move into a similar glute activation kick. So we're just bringing it into lower, exhale to kick those toes up towards the sky while keeping that 90 degree through the knee. Exhale up, inhale down. Keep that core engaged. On the last one, we're going to hold it up there and go for some pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and close. We're going to move into our lateral hip opener, so inhale to prepare, exhale, take the knee out towards the side. Inhale, close, exhale, open. Again, really feel strong through the core and really try not to move the hips. This is purely an activation for the glutes and for the thighs. Don't lift the knee too high if you haven't got the range of movement, as long as you can feel those muscles activating. From here, take the leg round and extend out to the back. We're going to move into our Pilates push-ups. So feel strong through the shoulders. Inhale, take it down to the mat. Exhale to push up. Sending the elbows backwards. Exhale, push up. Make sure the chest comes down between the hands and not the head. You can keep the leg extended or lower if you're finding it too challenging. Alternatively, don't bend so much into the elbows. Last one for me. Hold it here. We're then going to lower the leg but tuck the toes. Swivel on that knee and extend the arm up towards the sky. We're going to move into our side plank kick. Inhale to reach the arm above the head. Exhale, kick the leg and tap the knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, kick and tap. So make sure you're in a nice neutral spine here. Really engage through the core. We're working on the obliques and our shoulder stability as well as our legs. Inhale to reach. Exhale to kick and tap. Good. Keep it going. From here, we're going to move into our crunch. Inhale, exhale, crunch. Inhale, exhale, crunch. We're taking that knee to the elbow. Make sure we don't overarch as we release. We want to create that nice straight line and then that crunch. Stay with me, guys. I know it's hard. Last one. And circle that arm back down. Lower the legs and send those hips back into a child's pose. Take some nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, guys, we're going to move into that second side. So coming up onto your 4-point kneeling, extend that second leg back, going into that leg pull kick. So we're going to extend, exhale, lift and kick. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Again, don't worry about the height. We're just looking for some really level hips and activation through the posterior chain. Last one. And then we're going to bend that knee in and go into our glute activation kick. So same again. Sending those toes up towards the sky, keeping that knee at 90 degrees. Inhale to close, exhale to point up. Keeping that core really fired up so we don't bow into that back. Slow and controlled. Last one, going for these pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the lateral hip opener. So we're going to add in a hip opener here, just taking out to the side as before. Inhale to close, exhale to open. Keeping those hips as level as possible. And last one before we round that leg all the way round to the back. Extend it out and go into our Pilates push-ups one more time. Inhale, take it down. Exhale, push up. Think as though someone's pulling on your toes and that's creating length through your leg. Send the elbows back. Really tap into those triceps. Make sure the shoulders are staying away from the ears. Again, the regression is to make the motion smaller. Swiveling on that lower leg into your side plank. We're going to go into our side plank kicks. Inhale to extend, exhale, kick. Inhale, extend, exhale, kick. Keep a nice neutral spine here. Stay strong through the shoulders. Option here if your wrists are hurting are to come onto your elbows. We're going to move into those crunches. So inhale, reach, exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach, exhale, crunch. Get that length through the leg and then that crunch. Keep it going. Stay with me. Looking really strong, guys. And lowering back down to the mat and coming back into your child's pose. When you're ready, guys, we're going to come all the way onto our fronts lying down. So just roll through the spine, bring yourself down to your mat, and extend the legs out in parallel position. You're going to bring the palms up beside you and the forehead down to the mat. Take a moment here to find your neutral spine, so take those pelvic tilts back and forth and really feel that belly button scoop away from the mat, imagining there's an ice cube underneath. Inhale to prepare, exhale, extend the hands away from you towards the back of the mat, taking a small lift with the head and chest. Scoot that belly button off the mat as you lift the head and chest. Inhale to lower. Exhale, extend and lift. Option here is to bring the hands above the head and then circle them back round as you take the palms up and lower. This is just an option. If you prefer to just keep the hands out towards the back, it's absolutely fine. Extend it forward. Really think about tucking that belly button off the mat, even when the head and chest is lifted. This will help protect the lower back. Lengthen, lift, extend the arms. Really start to activate through that upper back. It should start to ache. Just means it's working. You're really going to have to think about your lateral thoracic breathing here, as you haven't got the room to breathe into the belly. So think about widening through the rib cage as you inhale and compressing as you exhale to lift. Deep breaths. You might just want to bring the hands out towards the side rather than all the way above the head. Just do whatever you can today. Reach first, then circle around. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Circle them back, reach, and then lower. Reach. Bring it round. Reach as you take it back, and then lower. From here, guys, we're going to place the hands underneath the forehead and move on to the lower body swan dive preparation exercise. Make sure you're in a nice neutral spine. We're going to inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, we're going to lengthen one leg away and lift about a few inches. Inhale, exhale, switch to the second leg. If you're okay with just doing this, you may stick with this. Otherwise, if you're looking to progress, we're going to go for a double leg lift. So inhale, exhale, lengthen, lift both. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lengthen and lift both. From here, we're going to take a bend and flex. Point to extend the legs. Inhale to lower. So this is your full exercise. If the other two options are enough for you, please stick with those. This bend and flex is really going to start to target through those hamstrings and those glutes, as well as play around with the calves. This is one of my favorites. When lengthening and lifting, imagine someone's pulling on your toes. That's creating that lift. Try and keep the soles of the feet flat to the ceiling as you bend and flex. As you bend and flex, be sure not to allow the belly to sink into the mat. Scoop it up away from the mat. Keep it going. Last few for me, guys. Stay with me. Deep breath, slow and controlled. Just one more for me. Extend and release. When you're ready, put the hands underneath your shoulders, push into the mat and round through into a child's pose, release. Just take a nice deep breath here. When you're ready, guys, we're actually going to move on to our backs. So coming onto your backs, we're going to make sure we're in a nice neutral spine, so take those pelvic tilts back and forth, extending both legs away, and bring the hands to the side of the head. Core is engaged. Inhale, exhale, curl the shoulders off the mat. Inhale to lower. Next option is to bring the right knee in as you curl off the mat. Inhale to lower. Exhale. Extend the leg as your next progression. Inhale, bend. Exhale to extend. Lovely, guys. So we're just going to alternate between a bent knee crunch and an extended leg crunch. So we inhale to lower and exhale to lift. Really feel that rib to hip connection as you scoop the abdominals and lift the head. Keep the elbows wide. If you'd rather stick with just the head or just the bent knee, that's absolutely fine. Switching to that second side, whichever variation you feel comfortable with. Inhale, lower. Exhale, kick that leg, scoop the abdominals. Crunch it in. Extend away. So get that extension through your leg each time. Try and touch the ceiling with those toes if you're opting for that kick. Feel that belly button melt down towards the spine, staying strong through the core. Stay with me. Last ones. And release. Take a full body stretch here, and then when you're ready, bringing one knee into the chest at a time. Give yourself a nice big hug, massaging out that lower back. And then when you're ready, guys, we're going to ground through the feet and extend those legs away. Moving into our next abdominal exercise on our backs. We're going to go into our single and double toe taps. So bringing one leg into a tabletop position, inhale, exhale, rib hip connection, then allow that second leg to float off. This is called your imprint. Inhale to tap the right toe down towards the mat, exhale, bring it back up to tabletop. Inhale, tap the left, exhale, back to tabletop. Option here is to go for the double toe tap. Lowering both toes down towards the mat in that 90-degree angle and exhaling to bring it back up. Option here is to also lift the head and chest, lowering the head as you lower the toes. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. This can still be done with single toe taps, so choose whichever variation feels comfortable for you, but do challenge yourselves. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Make sure that lower back isn't arching as you lower the legs. control the core. Last one. And hug the knees into the chest. Love it, guys. We're going to move into another exercise, our shoulder bridge. So ground through the feet, hands down beside you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tilt the pelvis towards you and slowly round up through the spine into a diagonal line from shoulder to knee. Inhale at the top and exhale, slowly melt the spine back into the mat. Inhale, exhale, tilt the pelvis towards you and round up through the spine one vertebrae at a time. Feel each vertebrae peel off the mat. Option here to swoop the arms up and over your head and bring them back down beside you at the same time as we lower through the spine. Next option, bring the arms all the way up and over the head as we lift through the pelvis. Inhale, exhale, melt back down, bringing the arms with you. Feel each vertebrae hit one at a time. We're going to go with the same option and start to play around with heel lifts. Coming up into your shoulder bridge position, inhale, exhale, lift the right heel away and lower. Lift the left heel away and lower. So we're keeping the ball of the foot on the ground still. Coming back down through the spine. Inhale, exhale, pelvic tilt, peel away. Nice strong pelvis. Peel away the heel, then the toe, and maybe into a leg lift. Moving to the second side, peel the heel, toe, and then maybe a leg lift. This requires strong glutes, so really fire them up. Inhale, exhale, come back down through the spine. This is great for spinal mobility, but a real challenge on the glutes. The next option is to allow those hands to come overhead as we go into our leg lifts. This challenges you because you haven't got the stability of the hands next to you. If at any point these become too challenging, just stick with the one before. You want to imagine a spirit level is sat across your hips, and whichever movement you do, the little bubble doesn't move, challenging your hips to stay nice and level. Inhale, exhale, scoop those abdominals, peel away from the mat. We're now going to start to add a real challenge. So extend that leg all the way up towards the ceiling once it's lifted. Flex the foot, lower the leg, point and kick straight up. Flex to lower, point to kick. 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 Last one, stay with me. Holding that kick up there, we're going to pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up there, lowering that leg down. We're going to switch to the second side. Lifting into a tabletop, extend the leg, flex to lower, point and kick. Flex and lower, point and kick. The challenge here is to keep all the rest of the body completely still and isolate that leg, challenging both the glutes and the core to stabilize the spine. Pulse. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Coming back down through the spine. Bring the knees into the chest and give yourself a nice little massage on that lower back. We're going to be moving into another abdominal exercise. So extend those legs out in front of you. Hands come beside the side of the head again. We're moving into our single and double leg stretch. So from here, we're going to plant one leg down and keep the other extended. Bring it into a tabletop position Inhale to lengthen it away and exhale to bring it back. Option here is to lift the head and chest as you extend. Second option is to lift the head and chest as you extend with the second leg in a tabletop. Next option is to extend the arms as well as the leg and then bring them back beside you. Next option is to extend both legs, but this one's a real challenge, so if you don't feel up to it, stick with the single leg. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and do a few more reps of this one. Extend and back. You can go for an arm overhead reach as well. Inhale to lower, exhale, peel those shoulders off the mat as you extend the legs away. Think about the rib to hip connection and the abdominals nice and flat. Exhale, lift. Imagine someone's pulling on those toes, creating that stretch through the legs. At the end of this next one, I want you to hold the position, bring one knee into the chest, and then go into the scissors. We're going to switch from knee to knee. So keep the scooped abdominals and just hug one knee into the chest at a time. And switch, and switch, and switch. Stay strong, deep breaths. Last 3, 2, 1, and relax. When you're ready, extend those legs along the mat and take a full body stretch. Take a moment here just to breathe, and then when you're ready, we're going to come up into a seated position on our mat and go into a reverse plank prep exercise. So when you're ready, bring the hands just slightly behind you, fingertips facing forward. Legs are straight. We're going to scoop all the abdominals and the glutes off the mat. So scoop the abdominals, tilt the pelvis and come up into a table position, keeping the head in line with the spine. So we're activating the glutes and creating this table position. Scoop, make sure those knees are coming above the feet. This is just a prep exercise, but it's still activating those glutes. It's also allowing you to open up through those hip flexors, which we've been working really hard on. And lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Lovely guys, we're going to move into our next exercise, which is our rolling back. So here's the options for you. You can keep the hands grounded beside you, gently rock back into a C-curve position, come up onto the shoulders, and then come back down, grounding the feet. Next option is to hold behind the legs, toes on the ground, rolling back as far as the shoulders, make sure we don't come onto our necks, rolling up, ground the feet. Next option is to allow the feet to hover in front of you. Control yourself as you roll back as far as the shoulders and control yourself on the way up and hold. Don't allow those feet to ground. Choose whichever variation feels good for you. If you're up for a challenge, let go of the legs. This is all in the core. We want to prevent using momentum. Next option is to try the open leg rocker. If you have this in your practice, go for it. Otherwise, stick with the rolling back. Keeping those legs straight, grabbing through the calves or the ankles. Very similar to the rolling back, but with more control. Really challenge yourself to keep that C-curve in the lower back by scooping the abdominals and using the control. Inhale, exhale, roll back. Try and lengthen through the spine as you come up. From here, we're going to go into our boat hold toe taps. So keeping the legs at 90, extend the arms in front of you and just alternate toe taps. This is a good core exercise as well as control. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale, lower, exhale to lift. Love it, guys. From here, just take a nice reach straight up, and we're going to move on to our next exercise, which is quite advanced. This is your rollover. So when you're ready, make sure you have enough of the room of your mat behind you. Extend the legs forward and then ground the hands onto the mat. Inhale to prepare, exhale, rolling over the shoulders, sending those legs overhead. Taking a moment, inhale, exhale, slowly roll down through the spine, controlling the weight of those legs and those hips all the way into the mat, and then bend the knees, come straight back up. That's option 1. Option 2, same again. Inhale, exhale, roll over the shoulders, coming into that position. Allow those palms to face up and roll around the floor above the head. From here, we're slowly going to allow the back to melt into the mat, keeping a real strong control. And then bring the head, chest and arms up, float into a teaser, reach up high as we lower the legs, and reset. Again, this is an advanced position, so if this is too much for you, just start to take some stretches. Otherwise, we're going to roll over one more time. Take the palms up and rotate them around the floor so that your hands come to meet your toes. Inhale, exhale, slowly roll down through the mat. Core is really on fire here. Swoop up and over, shoulders, core, lower the legs, reach up tall, and ground through the hands. Next option for this one is to cross one leg over the other. Same again, legs come overhead, hover the legs. We're then going to open through one leg, rotate through to a open position, switching the legs and bringing the other one on top of the other. From here, slowly roll down through the mat, keeping that cross-legged position, coming up with the head, chest, teaser, and then lower the legs, reach up high, inhale, exhale, forward fold. We're just going to take one more reverse plank stretch to release through those hip flexors. Take a deep breath here. Lower through the hips. And we're all done, guys. So we're just going to take a few gentle stretches here. Reach the arms forward, forward fold. And slowly roll down through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming into a Savasana pose and allowing the eyes to close, the palms to face up, and for the breath to come back to its normal breathing pattern. You're all done, guys. My recommendation is to take a few gentle stretches after this class. Thank you for joining me, guys, and have a great day.